I love grocery shopping, and one of my absolute favorite things to do is selecting a nice cut of beef. It can be a little bit daunting for some though, you know, what cut does what? The specific cooking process is needed for this and that. Grilling, in terms of grilling, Striploin steak, check this out. Beautiful marbling, wonderful steak to throw on the barbecue, and we end up with a nice tender juicy product. That's what we're going to use for our Striploin steak with garlic balsamic reduction. I'm Michael Williams, and today that's what we're cooking on the coast. You love your steak, you love your salad. Today, we put them together with my grilled Striploin steak with garlic balsamic reduction. Let's get going. So, we're gonna start off by getting our steak into the grill pan. We've got a couple cuts as mentioned here, beautiful Striploin steak. It's gonna go into a nice hot grill pan. You can pretend like this is your barbecue, okay? That's the way we roll. We grill it, get nice grill marks. It can be done on the stovetop with a grill pan like this. You could also do it in a regular pan, no problem. Cast iron is fantastic for steak. Now, I've drizzled a little bit of avocado oil on here, which is a great high temperature oil. Anytime we're cooking with high temperatures, we want to be mindful of the smoke point. So when you're cooking with high heat, you know, we run the risk of burning our oils. And when we burn our oils, they're kind of detrimental to our health. So you want to use the right oil for the right application. We've got some oil, some smoked salt from Vancouver Island sea salt, and a little bit of ground pepper on there. So I'm going to put this into the pan. I'm going to put it on a 45-degree angle because I want to get those nice crosshatch grill marks. So in it goes. As you can see, 45 angle to the way the grill is running. Now, we'll let that do its thing. I'm actually going to turn the heat up just a little bit. I would have liked a hint more of a sizzle on there. So let's turn it up on high. Now, while that grills, we're going to, in about 3 minutes, quarter turn that, and a nice perfect quarter turn, and that'll give us those crosshatch marks. That's what we're after. Let's get into our vegetables now though. We're going to use some yam, some red pepper, and some red onion. We will also definitely need some garlic, so I might as well grab that now. So, yam is nicely washed and scrubbed and cleaned. At this point, what I do is I just clean it up a little bit. If I notice any blemishes, then I'll trim them off. But otherwise, the skin is delicious, nutritious, and good to go. As usual, we'll keep our compost out of the way. And what I'm going to do here is this is kind of, as you can see, it's a little bit big, rolling around on the cutting board. It's not very stable, so I want to gain some stability. The first thing I'm going to do is cut this in half. Once it's cut in half, then I can flip it down onto a cut side, and all of a sudden I'm comfortable, okay? You want to be comfortable when you're cutting your vegetables, absolutely. Nice sharp knife is the first key. And what we're going to do here, I've got this cut into strips like so. I'm going to cut it into not too thick, not too thin, pieces like this, because this is going to go into our salad. It's going to be delicious. So yams, red onion, and red pepper is what we're rolling with for kind of some flavor ingredients for our salad. That's going to get mixed with some delicious organic romaine lettuce. It's going to be fantastic, and we're going to top it off with that grilled striploin. Let's take a look at the steak now and see how it's doing. I'm just going to turn it over and check to see how those grill marks are looking. As you can see, perfect. So now we put it the opposite way. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get some red pepper cut, some red onion cut, and then we can get these veggies into the oven. So once you have your ends cut off your onion, it's cut in half, nice and easy to peel. I'm always cleaning as I'm going. You'll always notice that. I like to keep my workstation nice and tidy. Really important to keep a good flow while you're working. Think of cooking as a mindful exercise. Take your time, enjoy it, and it will be so much better. The food will taste better as well, absolutely. So we're gonna cut some half rings basically with our onion here. Okay, so a little bit, just a touch thicker than our yam. And then with our pepper here, we're going to cut the top and the bottom off, cut in half like so, which allows me to get in there and remove the seeds in the vein easily. You want to see that one more time? Right like this. Okay, so we want those guys. We're going to cut these into fairly big chunks. And that is all now ready. Let's actually salvage this too, like so. Beautiful. That's now ready to get tossed in a mixing bowl with ever so slightly the littlest amount of oil. Now, I say that, the littlest amount of oil, not because I'm afraid of fat. Absolutely not. I love fat. I incorporate fat into my diet on a regular basis. When I'm cooking with oil though, I try to minimize it as much as possible. I search out avocado, fish, nuts, seeds. That's where I want to be getting my fats from, whole foods. Anytime you're working with a processed food, in my opinion, as little as possible is best. So, a little bit of that avocado oil onto our veggies. We don't need much, because I'm just about to toss this into my countertop oven that has an awesome air fry function. Check this pan out. As you can see, the air circulation can get through it from all angles, and we're gonna be roasting these veggies from the top, the bottom, the sides. Beautiful. So that actually is ready to go in the oven. Once I add a little bit of seasoning onto it, I've got that smoked salt, that Vancouver Island smoked salt, so we'll do a little bit of that, a little bit of pepper, and that goes into the oven. We will let that do its thing and come back later. Let's get tidied up here a little bit. And then we're gonna turn our steaks. So I think I'm ready to turn them right now. They should be looking beautiful. Oh, look at that. That is amazing. The smell, I'm telling you, there's nothing like the smell of, you know, striploin steak grilling, all those emanations, the vapor. Beautiful, love it. We're gonna let it sit for maybe another few minutes. So in terms of how to cook a steak like this, really simply, you know, a really hot pan for a thin steak, a little bit lower heat for a thicker steak. Let it go for a little bit longer. That's what we're doing here. About 6 to 8 minutes. You know, quarter turn every 3 minutes. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this rest in a hot place. So I'm just gonna put this right like that. It's gonna stay warm, the resting process. Then when we cut into it, it'll be beautiful. So we'll be back later in the show to pull together our grilled striploin with garlic balsamic reduction. But before that, we're road tripping. Love a road trip. See you right after the break.
Cookin' on the Road is brought to you by Cold Star Solutions, an integral part of Vancouver Island's grocery supply chain for 20 years.
I think this is it. Is this the Vinegar Shack?
You're in the right place.
Spinnaker's Brew Pub's own Vinegar Shack,
Yeah.
where you turn beer into vinegar, is that right?
Exactly, yeah.
Kala, thank you so much for having us.
Cheers.
Yeah, so what's the first step to making vinegar out of beer?
Great, so the first thing we do is we pour the beer into this tank here.
Can I do that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So in goes the beer. Don't want to spill any, because this is beer, right?
Exactly, it's precious.
And then, so what am I pouring this into? This looks like a brewing tank, isn't it?
Yeah, so these are reconditioned serving tanks from our cellar.
Right.
And then we added this chamber out here, which is where the mother lives.
The mother?
The mother, that's the name that we call for the colony of the bacteria
Okay,
that convert
yeah.
the alcohol into acid.
Right on, okay. So beer goes from here up through this tank?
Exactly, yeah.
And then back into the tank.
Yeah, and it just sort of runs on a continuous cycle for a week or two until it's ready.
It's about a couple of weeks till that vinegar's ready. How exactly do you tell?
So every day we do a titration on the vinegar.
Okay.
And we put a set amount into a solution and drop some sodium hydroxide into it,
Yeah.
and it'll signal a color change when we're at the right acidity.
Okay, so a certain color signifies where it's at on an acidity level.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. How many different types of vinegar do you have? And like, is it specific to a beer? How does that whole thing work?
Yeah, we sort of do a bunch of different kinds. We do an IPA vinaigrette, which is great on salad dressing. We do a Scottish ale, which is what we put on our French fries, or we do a barley wine, which is good on like oysters or
Amazing,
more
and
savory
always
kind of meats.
beer.
And we also do cider vinegar.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on. This is incredible. I'm actually quite curious to see this vinegar in action. And you guys have delicious food down at your pub. Do you think we can have a little taste test?
Yeah, for sure. We should go try some.
Let's do that. This looks fantastic. So we got vinegar in all of this, or almost to be in this. Is that
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, we do.
What do we have here?
Great. So these are our shrubs. So they're a drink made with vinegar, and it was a way of preserving fruit from before the time of refrigeration.
Okay.
So that one's a rose and rhubarb with rose petals grown outside, and then this is a ginger.
Really? Cheers to that. Oh wow, that is delicious. It's so refreshing.
Absolutely. That one's one of my favorites.
And so how have we incorporated vinegar into this dish here?
Great. So the bruschetta is drizzled with a malt reduction on top, and so that's where we've taken the vinegar, reduced it down, and added some sugar, and it makes it almost like a balsamic. Dig in there.
Yeah, and then, love that. So, fish and chips. I mean, how
It's
do
a
you
classic.
go? Yeah, totally. I would love to try the Scottish
Sure,
ale
yes.
malt vinegar. Can we do that? Have a little
Absolutely.
bit of that on our fish and chips. Oh boy, this is fantastic. So, you know, you guys are making your own vinegar so that you can have it on the table, but you're also using it in your cooking in the restaurant.
Yep.
Your vinegar goes a long way.
Yeah, it's even in this coleslaw here.
Fantastic. This is great. Thank you so much, Cal.
Cheers.
This
Thanks
has
for
been a
coming down.
pleasure. It's back to our kitchen. We're pulling together our grilled striploin with garlic balsamic reduction. I'm super excited. So, we've grilled off our steak, our veggies are roasting, air frying in our oven. We need to get some garlic chopped up, because what I want to do here is make the dressing in the pan. We've got all these amazing flavors in this pan. You can see it's hot already. I'm gonna turn it down just a touch. You can see it's nice and hot though. We're gonna fry off some garlic in there. So let's do that. We're gonna take advantage of all of those juices from the steak. So this is one of my favorite tricks in the kitchen. You take a frying pan or a pot, and you saw what I did there. I crushed the garlic. That's already got a head start on the peeling. I'm gonna go back on and listen for some crunches. Every time that crunch happens, we're breaking the skin on the clove, and we're getting ourselves peeled garlic automatically. Wonderful. Super easy. I have added years to my life since discovering this trick, and you can too. Okay, so let's chop this up. Basically, we're just gonna slice it. I want some nice big chunks of garlic. So we're gonna slice away, get some big chunks of garlic, and then that's gonna go right into the pan. Now we've talked a little bit already about the temperature. I wanna get a little bit of oil in here, just a little bit. Talked about the temperature and smoke points of oils. So right now, I'm still rolling with that avocado oil. And then what I want to do though is I want to use extra virgin olive oil for the base of the dressing. So once our heating process is finished, then we're going to use this after we reduce some balsamic vinegar into there, and it's going to make the most amazing dressing for our salad. And that pan was nice and hot. You can see already we're getting some good caramelization. I'm just going to let that do its thing for a moment. I'm going to remove my compost. Mom always told me, keep the kitchen clean. That's where I learned it from. So take note. Clean kitchen's a happy kitchen. So now, let's get our lettuce torn up. Romaine lettuce is going to be kind of the base of this salad. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna tear this lettuce and basically have it fairly rustic. Big chunks. I like to use the white part and the green part, absolutely. Such a great, fantastic crunch, crispiness on the whiter part of the romaine. So we definitely want to incorporate that. And now, oh, roasted garlic. How do you beat that? How do you beat that smell? It's almost as good as grilled striploin. Oh, combine it with the juices in the pan from the striploin. Let's get our balsamic vinegar into the pan now. I'm gonna put a little skim on there and I'm gonna let it reduce down a little bit. Okay, it's gonna happen pretty quickly because we've got a pretty hot pan here. Once it does, it's probably now, it's that quick. I'm gonna add in my extra virgin olive oil, remove it from the heat. Now at this point, the temperature I'm not concerned about. It's come down already. It's well below the smoke point of extra virgin olive oil. So I'm just gonna let that do its thing. Let's grab our grilled vegetables. They are air fried in our countertop oven, nice and crispy. Let's see how this turned out. Oh my goodness. Fantastic, look at that. This looks incredible. So that is just gonna go right on top of our romaine, okay? You develop a certain kind of, desensitivity to heat when you're a chef. So if you saw that and you're like, ouch, 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 feel free to use some tongs. Absolutely. So let's get things organized here. I'm just gonna, thinking about presentation, get everything kind of evenly spread out. This looks beautiful. My mouth is watering so much. Let's cut our steak, shall we? What we're gonna do is slice our steak nice lines, and then kind of dress the steak on top and then pour that dressing right over top. So, time to cut. Beautiful strip loin steak. Oh man. So you can see I'm doing this on a double angle. Not only am I slicing it on a 45 this way, but I'm also slicing it on a 45 this way. And that gives us just a nice piece of steak, especially for a salad. Okay, so that can go right on top of our salad, and then we'll repeat that process. What we're doing here is we're constructing a family-style dish for service. Okay, so as I mentioned, the last step, actually second to last step, we got two more. Second to last step is gonna be drizzling that dressing over top. We've got our garlic, our concentrated balsamic vinegar, and the extra virgin olive oil. Super simple. Let's drizzle that right over top of everything. Now, some of these garlic cloves are being a little bit stubborn. So let's make sure they get, oh yeah, oh my goodness. And then the last step, fresh basil. Let's just basically tear it, almost like we did with the romaine, almost like it, a little bit finer. So we're gonna grab our basil and just tear it a little bit smaller and drop it on top. And these fresh green herbs, there's so much nutritional potency in basil, oregano, thyme, and the more we can incorporate these beautiful herbs into our diet, the more we're getting a supercharged kind of vitamin kick. So there you have it. Grilled strip loin with garlic balsamic reduction. I can't wait, I gotta taste this. Some grilled yam. Oh, I can't wait to tuck into that steak. It's gonna be delicious. There you have it. Grilled strip loin with garlic balsamic reduction. I'm gonna have a big plate of this soon.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
Now to make this meal even better, let's explore a beverage pairing. I'm here with Karen from Mission Hill, probably one of the pioneers of BC wine, Mission Hill is. Would that be fair to say?
That's a fair statement,
Yeah?
for sure.
Okay,
For sure.
awesome. So I've created a roast strip loin with concentrated balsamic vinegar and roasted garlic, extra virgin olive oil. Those are the big flavors that are happening in this.
Amazing.
A
Sounds
delicious
gorgeous.
salad. So what did you choose when I told you what the salad was all about to pair?
Well, I picked our Mission Hill Reserve Meritage. This is a 2016 vintage, and
Okay.
this is the inaugural vintage of a Meritage from the Reserve tier.
Yeah.
And what a Meritage is a Bordeaux blend.
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah,
Okay, carry on. Yeah.
And so just remember it, some people call it Meritage, but it is Meritage.
Okay.
Just remember it.
I've heard
Rhymes with
Meritage.
heritage.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
And this is dominated by Cabernet Franc,
Yeah.
but almost equal amounts with Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and then a touch of Petit Verdot.
Okay.
But I chose this because this is going to stand up incredibly well, beautifully with the steak.
I'm gonna plate us up
Perfect.
a little bit here.
Okay, and I'll pour us some.
I'm quite excited because I'm not super versed in pairing wine with food. It's something I've never really gotten into, so it's fantastic to have somebody with your expertise come into the kitchen and take care of that
Well,
aspect.
thank you. It's a fun hobby.
Should we start right here?
Okay.
Let's do that. Smells incredible. I'm gonna say cheers to you.
Cheers. So you're really getting those gorgeous red fruits and nice tannin structure, and really, but you get the softness as well.
Wow, that is so smooth. Delicious. Okay, so let's see how we stack up with our salad here. I like it.
This is delicious.
So, you know, with all those flavors that are happening in this salad, the wine stands up to it.
Sure does.
It's got its own kind of identity. Do you want to explain a little bit more about the pairing?
Yeah. So, I mean, you're getting those really nice dark cherries. It's really complemented with the food.
Yeah.
And it has that nice earthy finish, so it really pairs well with the vegetables and especially that roasting. And but it doesn't overpower as well. It's just it's a really nice match, and it perfectly balances.
Fantastic. I'm going to remember this the next time I make this dish.
Okay.
I think you guys just won an award. I think you were talking about your Chardonnay, which won Best Chardonnay in the world?
It's an amazing story, actually. So in 1994, Mission Hill Grand Reserve back then won the Best Chardonnay in the world at the Wine and Spirits competition in London.
Yeah, wow. So that's a huge accolade.
It was a really big deal.
Yeah.
And it was a really big deal for the Okanagan Valley and the entire valley and the wine coming from BC.
And all of BC, yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I learned a little bit about pairing. Maybe I can walk a little bit more confidently into it next time.
Please. Well, I hope you'll come in and visit the winery sometime.
I will do that, absolutely. I just got back from the Okanagan, but I'll be back.
Great.
So, check out our website where you'll find the lowdown on today's show. I'm Michael Williams. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, dinner's better when we eat it together. Let's dig into this. Now you can have a piece of steak.
Yeah, exactly. This looks amazing. It's done very good.